Hey everyone, sorry I've not been online for a few days. Well, it's been more than a few days now. I wasn't feeling too good, just in myself, mentally, sort of like had a relapse. I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm still not 100%, but I am feeling a lot better in myself. Um, and I just wanted to talk about relapses. They come in many forms. It's not just, like drugs or things like that. It's negative ways of thinking and bad habits and things like that. They come in many forms, like I say. Unfortunately, mine came in the form of amphetamines. And I didn't actually realise how much they affected me. I'm glad to say that I've not taken any since, and I have felt better for it. I used to think that it was helping me, but no, I've sort of like come to understand that how much it does affect me, and then that gets passed on to other people, really, because I withdrew, and people started thinking it was because of them, and it wasn't, not at all. It wasn't because of them. It's because of a multitude of things, really. For starters, I thought I needed the amphetamines to cope with a lot of things, energy building and things and whatnot. But no, I didn't need that at all. And I paid the price, mentally, definitely, and physically. It took it out of my body and it took it out of my mind. I was trapped in my mind for a little bit, overthinking and things like that, as well as other people was as well. But that was due to me, just being quiet. But that's what the amphetamines make me do. I withdraw into myself, and they do turn me into a different person. Even though I am myself, I'm still Kat, as you know. I just not as talkative with the outside world. I go into myself. But yeah, I just need some time away just to recuperate from that and recover, which I think I have now. Maybe not totally, but it's not helped with this hot weather that we've been having over here in England. We're not used to it. Well, I'm not used to it anyway, especially with going through the menopause. It's been a nightmare. So I've just been concentrating on keeping cool, which it's been quite a hard task. But yeah, it's cooler today. We've got some rain. We have some thunderstorms that are forecast, so I do like thunderstorms, so I'm looking forward to those. I did feel like I wanted to go out in the garden and just sit out in the rain, but my neighbours think I'm a nutter enough as it is without doing that. But yeah, it's one of my favourite pastimes, going out, especially when it's been boiling hot like it has. The first rain that you get from that, it's lovely and cool. But yeah, I woke up this morning and it was lovely, nice and cool for a change, instead of waking up in a pool of sweat. But yeah, I just want to say thank you everybody for your comments and everything. I've not read any at all for quite a while, but I will reply to them now I'm feeling a bit more myself again. In the next 10 days I've got a festival coming up, which I'm looking forward to, but I am very anxious about it too. It's a double-edged sword. I know that I'll have a good time while I'm there, but it's the build-up, it's the anxiety, because I go on my own. I will be meeting people that I know there. I don't think they're coming to the Saturday, but I go on the Thursday. It's just easier because you've got some space there to pitch your tent where you want to pitch, instead of having to sort of like squeeze in between whatever space that you can find, if you don't get there early. So yeah, I'll be getting there for hopefully for opening time on Thursday, get my tent pitched up, and then I should be okay. Hopefully I'll be in the disabled campsite this year, due to my own mental health and my back. Obviously dragging all my stuff and having to walk and dance and everything, it's quite, takes it out of me very much so. But I am 47 now, and like I say, I do it on my own. So I've got like a fishing trolley that I put everything on. Sorry, you hear the traffic go past. Yeah, I have a fishing trolley that I put everything on and drag that with me instead, instead of carrying it all on my back, because my back can't cope with that anymore. Because I've worn away part of my spine and my lower back. Yeah, and it doesn't like heavy stuff anymore. Which my mind says, yeah, I can do it, but my body says, no, I can't. So I have to be careful. But hopefully I won't have miles and miles and miles to walk this year, like I did last year. I'm, like I say, I'm just in the disabled campsite, which is quite near to the main arena. I don't have to walk miles to the campsite, the normal campsite that I camp at. So hopefully it should be a lot easier on me this year. I did have a big panic attack last year, but that was due to hearing somebody getting beaten up. And that's how my mental health affects me. It triggered me into being like a terrified child, terrified toddler. I just sat in my tent for, frozen, because I thought they was going to come and attack me as well. Even though that wasn't the case, it was just irrational thinking. But this is what happens when you're triggered. You have these irrational thoughts. And it's not just, me listening to somebody getting beaten up. I didn't even see it. My tent was closed. I was tucked up in bed, but I didn't have earphones in or anything, and I just heard someone get beaten up. And the tent sort of like across the way from me. So it really did freak me out. And I suppose I am a bit anxious about that happening again, but I am in a different campsite this year, so hopefully that won't be around anything like that. You get it everywhere. You get the idiots, drunken and kick-offs and things like that. But it was the first time I've experienced that at a festival. So yeah, it was quite traumatising for me. And I wasn't actually going to go this year because of that. But I can't let those fears that I've got of my own stop me from doing stuff. It's stopped me for many years from doing stuff, and I refuse to do that now. I know it was an isolated incident, and I'm hoping that it won't happen again. If I had my earphones in at the time, I wouldn't have heard it, and it wouldn't have affected me, It's that strange, But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have my earphones in, and I did hear it, and it triggered me big time. But yeah, I have to get over that. I have to move forward from that. We all have triggers, don't we? And it's the same as me not being on here, not making any videos. I know it's triggered people to think that it's something to do with them when it hasn't. It's nothing to do with anything that they've done. And it's trying to put yourself in that mind frame of analysing a situation, going, okay, well, I've not done anything wrong, so my actions can't be anything to do with this person's response. I had to do this when I was going through therapy, domestic abuse therapy, because it was a way that I'd been made to think just throughout the years, because when you're in a toxic relationship with someone, whether it be family, friends, or a partner, or even work colleagues, because they're constantly telling you lies, you're constantly trying to figure out what's going on. So you have 20 million thousand whatever scenarios going off in your head, and none of them are going to be true. You have to stand back and you have to analyse the situation. It's like, I had an ex-partner, and he used to create scenarios and cause arguments based on lies, and I'd be sat there trying to work out the lies. How can you work out lies? You just can't, because they're lies. So my head used to go through so many different things of reasons why I was the problem, and he'd be telling me that I'm the problem, but then until I stood back and thought of the situation, I couldn't work it out, and it used to do my head in, and yeah, I used to take it out on myself. But my therapist says, right, well, write down a situation. What happened? And was there any reason for you to feel guilty about a situation? Did you cause that situation? And once you sit down and you think, right, well, no, I've not done anything bad to warrant somebody doing something. So it's not my fault. And it's the same as, I do have a few friends that do this, they think, it's like sending messages to someone and you don't get a reply. When you've got a traumatised mind, you instantly think, oh my God, have I done something wrong? What have I said, to not get an answer? Or, but, there's a multitude of reasons why somebody might not be answering you, Yeah, they might be ignoring you, but that's not your fault, unless you have done something to warrant that, and you have to sit down and think, well, no, I've not done this, or yes, I have done this, so, this is why I'm getting this reaction. If you sit down and think, well, no, I haven't done anything wrong to warrant this, then there's got to be some other reason, unless it's a narcissist that you're, talking to, and they're doing it on purpose, just to make you feel insecure and things like that. You can think, well, no, this hasn't got anything to do with me. This is, there could be a multitude of reasons. It's like the reason why I have not replied to anybody is because I've not felt I've been able to. My head's been up my arse, basically. And I didn't realise that, and until I saw the actions of what I was doing, then I realised that, but it wasn't because of anything that anybody else has done on YouTube or anything like that, it's just things in my own private life that have triggered me, and a build-up of it, so, because I'm not replying to anybody doesn't mean to say that, I've fallen out with anyone or anything like that. It's just that I need time by myself to get my head back together again, and I do really apologise to anybody that has felt that I've ignored them. It's not intentional. It's just me taking my energy back and finding my feet again. I do have to do this at times. It's part of the mental illness. It's part of the healing as well. Because I've jumped into YouTube, basically not knowing what I'm doing, not knowing what sort of response I would get. And it's been quite overwhelming, really, and I suppose I have been trying to keep strong, and thinking that I was strong when I wasn't, fooling myself into thinking that I was doing okay when really I wasn't, and it was just by my actions, of turning to drugs that I realised that no, I wasn't alright. If I was fine, I wouldn't have had to have turned to drugs. I wouldn't have had to have thought that I needed them to cope. But yeah, it took somebody to actually, say something for me to realise that, yeah, this is what's going on, and I do thank that person very much so for opening up to me, and telling me how they felt or how they thought I was reacting to them, because yeah, I didn't know. I have an idea, I suppose, because I do feel guilty for not talking. I do feel guilty that, people have been commenting and I've not been commenting back, considering that this channel is about support. And I suppose it's been overwhelming that people look at me in that way. And it's strange for me. It's different. I know that I've always been like an agony aunt type thing, and people have relied on me for certain emotional support, or some sort of stuff like that. But when it's complete strangers and they start doing that, it's quite overwhelming, you know, to think that I'm affecting people's lives like that. And I am sorry if I've made you feel that you was a problem when you're not at all, not a problem at all. It is just basically my own mental state and my own way of coping with things. And I suppose when it comes to strangers on YouTube, you don't really know my personal life and my past. So it's only from what you can see in these videos that I make, you know. But I am thankful, I'm very grateful for all of you that are still with me, you know, even after this little sort of like relapse. But yeah, for the people that think that, you know, that they was the cause of this, no, not at all. It's nothing to do with you at all. And I am grateful for your support and for your openness and your honesty on how it's made you feel. And I am very sorry for making you feel like that. But yeah, I mean, that we do have our own insecurities when it comes to things like that. Even I'm the same, you know. It took me a while to be able to stand back and go, right, well, the reason why this person is doing something, it's not necessarily because of me. You know, everybody's got their own lives, everybody's got their own issues, everybody's got their own way of coping with things. And they're completely different to mine, you know, so just because somebody's not speaking to me doesn't mean to say that they don't like me. Doesn't mean to say that I've done anything wrong. They may just have too much to cope with themselves and need to backtrack. So yeah, instead of going into thousands and thousands of spiralling thoughts of whys and maybes and ifs and what ifs and all those things, you know, you have to quiet your head and think, right, well, no, it's not to do with me. I've done nothing wrong. And then leave it at that. You know, if somebody is a friend, they will get back to you, you know. I mean, I've talked about this just in my personal life to my friends and people on Facebook, you know. I've talked about this over and over again, how my mental health affects me, and it's nothing personal to anybody else. You know, sometimes it's hard for me to cope, and I have to withdraw. But it's not because of one certain person. It's just a multitude of things that my head just doesn't know how to cope with, or copes with in a bad way. But yeah, I am learning better, you know, better ways to cope. And I am learning that I need to stay away from the drugs, definitely. I'm learning that I am more capable than what I thought I am, or thought I was, when it comes to dealing with things. But yeah, I do need time away now and again just to get my thoughts back together. I mean, all this business with my mum, you know, it's still cropping up. You know, I've put out my feelers into this person's name who's supposed to be my dad. And to be honest, I've had enough of it, you know. I think it was just my mum's way of trying to hoover me back in. And, you know, I've been sat here thinking for weeks, and, you know, since she's got in contact with me, do I contact her back? Do I bother opening that can of worms again, you know, but she knows everything. I've told her so much stuff over the years. She knows exactly my thoughts, exactly the sort of thing I need from her, not just 2 lines, you know. And I shouldn't feel guilty for not responding, because I know the impact that she has on my mental health. You know, I've not even spoken to her, and she's still having an impact on my mental health. And not a good one either. So, you know, I've got to put that into account. You know, if I do contact her, you know, am I just going to be getting a load of bullshit again? You know, just because maybe she's watched a few of my videos and is a bit pissed off and wants a bit of revenge, you know. This is the sort of attitude that I think she has. She's not getting the attention from me. You know, she's not getting the attention from mutual friends, because they're seeing through her now as well. So, you know, is it like a knock-on effect from that? I mean, to be honest, I can't contact her because I've been locked out of my email account, my personal email account. I forgot the password. So I've been trying to log into that and I can't. It's stupid because it's asking me to write down some emails and contents that I've sent, you know, that I might have sent, you know, just to verify it's my account. I've not sent any emails for ages, you know. I have no idea how. I can't get back into my account, so, you know, I can't even reply to her. But, you know, it's just another thing that's come into my life and I can't be asked. I'll just stick with my, either this one on here, or is it Dopamine Machine, School of Hard Knocks, or my other email address. But, you know, I've got to change a lot of things over, and it's just a head fuck that I can't be asked with. But yeah, I don't know if it was sort of like the universe going, well, no, you can't answer it now anyway, so yeah, stop thinking about it and just carry on with your life. I mean, I've decided that, you know, I've tried to find out about this name that she's given me, about who my dad is. You know, I've put some feelers out, but there's nothing coming back. You know, there's people that she's known, that my friend knows, that my mum's known from back around the time that I was conceived and all that. And they're saying a story, and it's completely different to what reality is anyway. And it's just like, well, no, she's told them a load of crap as well, you know. So, you know, I'm never going to find out. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, the man that raised me is my dad. He might not be my biological dad, but he was still my dad. He still taught me my values. He still taught me a lot of things, you know. As far as I'm concerned, he's my dad. I don't care what anybody says. He is my dad. He brought me up. He raised me as his own. You know, that's what a father is. That's what a parent is, you know. You know, my mum calls herself a parent. My mum calls herself a mum. No, she's nothing of the sort. You know, she has not got a caring bone in her body. She never raised me. She's never taught me anything good. You know, it's all been toxic stuff that she has taught me. I suppose she's taught me a lot about toxic people, you know, which is good in that aspect. I know what to avoid completely. She's definitely one of those to avoid. But yeah, anyway, I've been waffling on now for, 23 minutes, so. But yeah, I felt a bit sort of discombobulated, or whatever they call it. Just not felt myself. Just for a lot of things that's going on, and then the added drugs on top has not helped. So I'd just like to apologise for all of that, and thank you all for staying with me and understanding. Well, I assume that you're understanding. Like I say, I've not read any of the comments whatsoever, but I shall do, and I shall reply to them. But yeah, like I say, I've got Creamfields coming up, so this festival, so I'm a bit panicky, so I might not do many videos. I'm going to be taking videos at Creamfields. I'm going to be dancing around like an idiot and just letting go. Nobody knows who I am there, so, well, except the people that I'm meeting. But that's not until Saturday, I think. So at least 2 days where nobody knows who I am. So I can just be myself and dance like nobody's watching, dressed up like a fairy. I'm going as a neon fairy this time. I might actually get my kit on and show you what it all looks like, the fairy wings and all. So yeah, watch this space. But thank you very much for everybody that's liked, subscribed, shared and commented. And like I say, I will get back to you, but in my own time, unfortunately. When I feel ready that I can. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it may be next week, it may be after I come back from Creamfields, I do not know. But thank you very much for bearing with me. It's just part of the mental illness. But anyway, sending you lots of love and light, and thank you everybody for just being so much support, and I love you all. Bye bye everyone.